Hey yo, what's going on everyone? Welcome to my Neuvillette Sacrificial Jade review. I think everyone knows that Neuvillette is absolutely cracked, and the weapons that he can run are also insanely strong. However, one weapon in particular, being Sacrificial Jade, is a recent Battle Pass weapon that is actually his second best in slots. At high refinements, it is one of his strongest weapons, even beating out other 5-star alternatives. There has been cases where Sacrificial Jade has even rivaled his signature weapon in damage. However, at low refinements, it does not perform nearly as well and does get beat out by most other 4 and 5-star alternatives like Prototype Amber, Widsith, and the Lost Prayer. So let's dive right into it. Almost all of Neuvillette's kit scales off his max HP, the most noteworthy being his charge attacks. The more HP that Neuvillette has, the more damage his charge attacks will do. Now, what makes Sacrificial Jade so good is that at high refinements, its skill effect gives Neuvillette a massive HP and elemental mastery increase. At R5, it gives him a 64% max HP increase, which is much larger than the 16% that his signature weapon gives him. Not to mention the 36.8% crit rate substat that the weapon has. All in all, Neuvillette will have 72.8% crit rate from just the Marquise Hunter 4-piece set bonus and Sacrificial Jade. The increase in elemental mastery that the weapon gives does benefit more reaction-based Neuvillette team comps, like a Vaporized team. However, the main strength of Sacrificial Jade lies in the huge HP increase that it gives. So, as you can see, my Neuvillette has a max HP of 38k without the Sacrificial Jade buff. With the Sacrificial Jade buff, my Neuvillette now has 45k HP, and my Sacrificial Jade is only R3. As its refinements get higher, my Neuvillette will then gain even more HP, pushing his damage even higher. Here is Neuvillette's damage with just the Sacrificial Jade buff. And here is his damage without the Sacrificial Jade buff. As you can see, the Sacrificial Jade buff did make quite a big difference for Neuvillette's damage, as it increased his charge attack damage by 6,000. In one full rotation, Neuvillette's charge attack does 8 ticks of damage, so this will be an increase of 48,000 damage. Unfortunately, Sacrificial Jade does have one major downside, and that is the awkward playstyle that is forced upon you. Essentially, your Neuvillette cannot stay on field for longer than 10 seconds, otherwise the buff will go away. So, Neuvillette can only rarely be on field for one rotation before he has to be switched out. This playstyle can be a little difficult, as you will be constantly waiting to switch him out. To get his buff back, you simply need to swap to your other characters for 5 seconds and then switch back to Neuvillette. So in this clip, I'm just going to be showing you guys how his playstyle looks with Sacrificial Jade. So now, once I switch back to Neuvillette, he has the Sacrificial Jade buff, and I get his first charge attack off, and I get his second charge attack off with the buff still up. Now you can see his buff is gone, and I need to swap to other characters so the buff comes back. So I'll get the burst and skills off before I switch back to Neuvillette, and yeah, the buff is back. In my opinion, you don't really need his signature weapon, especially if you are willing to buy the Battle Pass in order to get your Sacrificial Jade to R5. Generally, Neuvillette can kill almost anything in the game within the 10 seconds that the buff is up. So if you do have any wishes to spend, I'd rather use it on his C1, or save your wishes for father. Neuvillette does not scale off attack. so he doesn't really require a 5-star weapon. That's why his 4-star options are so competitive. If you already have his C1, then pulling for his weapon can be a good option, seeing as this is a really good weapon banner to spend your primos. Because if you lose your 50-50 trying to get Neuvillette's weapon, you can get Kazuha's weapon, which is actually a decent option for a lot of supportive sword users like Bennett and Jean. This is because the buffs that your team will receive are actually quite strong. Since I do have his C1, I did really want to get Neuvillette's signature weapon. However, this is how my pulls went. Anyway, I hope you guys have better luck than me. But nevertheless, let's dive into some damage showcases. So here I'm using a HP Sands and Goblet. Here is my double HP build. Here I'm using a HP Sands and Hydro Damage bonus Goblet. This is the Hydro Damage bonus build. In this clip, I'm using the Widsith on Neuvillette with the HP Sands and HP Goblet. In this clip, I'm still using the Widsith with the HP Sands, however now I'm using a Hydro Damage bonus Goblet. This clip showcases the Widsith receiving its best buff, which is an elemental damage increase. This is one of the Widsith's 3 buffs that you can potentially get. However, it is too inconsistent to rely on. This is the Widsith build. So I just wanted to briefly cover the current Neuvillette and Kazuha banner. In my opinion, both of these characters are a must-pull. Neuvillette is the best DPS in the game, who you can build quite easily and has a really fun playstyle. Kazuha is also really good. He is the best support in the game at C0 with insane grouping and buffing potential. If you can only get one of them, I think it depends on your account. If you don't have strong DPSs like Alhaitham, Hu Tao, Navia, etc., then I'd pull for Neuvillette because the amount of damage he does is insane. And as your account gets better, he will only get stronger. If you do have other strong DPSs, then you should consider pulling for Kazuha, as he is really strong and does synergize really well with Neuvillette. So yeah, to conclude this video, Sacrificial Jade is definitely Neuvillette's second best weapon. It is just slightly weaker than his signature. The only downside is its awkward playstyle. However, with time, you can easily get used to it. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you guys have any other video suggestions, feel free to comment it down below. And please, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers!